Hello everyone, I'm Multi-Prometheus1, and welcome to a brand new series. Now, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I posted a video called In Defense of Blank Number 4, Gravity. And in the description I said that my next episode of In Defense of Blank would be The Lost World Jurassic Park. That video is still coming. It's been almost a year. I have just been so busy with my senior year of high school, getting ready to go to college, getting ready to move to Europe. So many things going on, I don't really have time to make YouTube videos for a channel that no one really watches in the first place, and I just mainly do for fun. So, that video, as well as more In Defense ofs, are eventually coming at some point. But until then, I thought I'd start a new series of much smaller scaled videos. Videos that I could do in only a few hours when I didn't have enough time to do a full In Defense of. The In Defense of videos aren't that long, they're not that big of scaled, but they do take some time to edit. These I can edit in just a few hours, and I can just get something out there. This is the first episode of a brand new series called We Swear We're Not Disney. This is a series where I'm going to be looking at a lot of low-budget Disney knockoff films. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those low-budget, poorly written, poorly acted, poorly animated, poorly everything, cheap films that are meant to trick some old grandma into thinking that's the actual Disney movie and buying that for their kid. They're corny, they're weird, they have no place in your children's entertainment. These are the Disney knockoff films we love to make fun of. Now, the majority of the ones I'm going to be looking at are released by the same studio, the same company. I don't know. I don't know what the studio's called because every single DVD release has a different distributor. I don't know. I don't care. But we all know what it is, and we all know they're the same one. So, this is We Swear We're Not Disney, Episode 1, The Little Mermaid. The film begins with one of the worst songs you will ever hear in a children's film, and despite how ear-bleedingly annoying it is, it still never leaves your head. The first thing you'll notice in this film is that the animation is, as you'd expect, pretty bad. They never once look alive, they never once look like they're actually making any facial expressions, sometimes they don't even look like they're moving all that much. There are a lot of awkward shots that really don't serve any purpose, and are just there to fill time and fill space, and a lot of the characters didn't even look like they tried to make them look different than the Disney film. Like, oh my gosh! I'm sorry, they didn't even try with that one. I mean, they really didn't. It's just, wow. The second thing is the voice acting. Now, some of the voice acting isn't that bad, it's just kind of passable, whereas certain characters are just so ear-bleedingly annoying that you wish you could reach into the screen and just rip their throats out.
I'm coming! Oh, I never should have told her. If I knew she was gonna act like this, I never would have told her.
But the absolute worst thing about this film, the only thing that actually makes this film worth talking about, out of all the terrible films out there, the only one that makes this one significant and makes me remember it for how much it angered me, was the pacing. My goodness, this is quite possibly the worst paced film I have ever seen in my entire life. You know how the Disney version, and kinda sorta the original short story it was based on, it did follow the traditional 3-act structure, but it did it pretty evenly. The first kind of equivalent third of the film, or the story, was her getting onto dry land. The middle third, the second act, was her trying to win over the prince, and the third act was everything that happened after that and the conclusion of the story. It was pretty even. This film is 50 minutes long. The first act, that first third of the story, where she's trying to get on dry land, takes up the first 40 minutes. I am not joking. This 48-minute film, 40 minutes of that 48 minutes, is the first act where she's trying to get on dry land. The entire last 2/3 of the film, the majority of the story, is crammed into the last 8 minutes of the film. it feels so rushed. It's so rushed, I'm not even sure kids would actually be able to follow it. It kind of makes you wonder whether or not they were actually planning on making a feature length at first and then realized, holy crap, there's this thing we don't have, money. And so they just crammed the last 2/3 of the film into 8 minutes, and it is so rushed, it's almost cringeworthy. The pacing in this film is so memorable for how horrible and sloppy it really is. I remember watching this movie going, okay, I know how long this movie is. It's like 50 minutes, 48, 50 minutes. We should be getting to the dry land by now. 20 minutes later, we really should be getting to the dry land by now. I mean, there's not much of this movie left. 15 minutes later, we really should be getting to the dry land right now. I mean, there's not much of the movie left. And when she finally gets there, when the main plot of the film actually begins, 40 minutes in, there's only 8 minutes left of the film. It is one of the most blind-blowing time codes I've ever looked at on a video. It is just so funny and so mind-boggling how they stretch out the exposition, really, the majority of the film, and make the actual story of the film the last tiny 1/10 of it. It's just... Really, though, that's really all there is to say about this. The pacing is the only thing that makes it stand out from all the other terrible films I've seen. If you somehow ignore the terrible pacing, if you somehow ignore the horrible pacing, you really just get a film that's exactly what you'd expect. Bad, cheesy, poorly done, meant to make some grandma buy it instead of the real movie, and that's all you're gonna get. Do I recommend it? Only if you're looking for something to intentionally make fun of. That's really it. I'm Multiprometheus, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.